All right. So in the Jupyter Notebook, you can now switch over to exercise 12. There's a little, there are some instructions on what to do next in a nextsteps.md file in the source folder. So, as I already said, we have been using file-based encoding and group-based encoding so far. Like I said, we have an optimized encoding that uses special ADIOS features and that is most efficient if wanting to use ADIOS as in terms of a single file. And since we will keep one single stream open and not open a new stream for each iteration, that is what we are going to do. So we will switch over to variable-based encoding now. The first step for that is switching to the, what the hell? Okay, I'm now going to use the toml config because I will not bother with whatever this is. So we are now, as a first step, still going to write files, but look at what happens when we use variable-based encoding. And we really should have chosen another name that I can pronounce better than this. We are going to need it later, so I'm already opening it. I'm opening a new terminal pane. You don't need to load the environment again because we already specified it when opening the Jupyter Notebook. Something that I don't understand why it isn't possible for the Visual Code sessions, but here it's a bit more comfortable. We already have the environment enabled. You can check it by running, for example, bpls version and see that it's there. Yes, if you start from the 12 streaming I/O example, also the toml configuration is specified by default. So if you want to continue working with the JSON with the JSON configuration, you can also do that, but you will need to change it in the code that is provided as a solution.
So here you have just changed the iteration.
Exactly, yeah. I changed it from group-based now to variable-based. The most feature-complete iteration encoding for ADIOS is at this time still file-based. For variable-based, is basically, or has been written for supporting streaming workflows mostly. So it's written for workflows where you have iterations appear and then go and never access them again. So you can currently only progress through iterations from start to the end. For streaming workflows, it's the encoding of choice. You can use it for files, but you will then be restricted currently to workflows that would also, for streaming-like workflows, which is something that we want to change for the upcoming release, where we will want to make this encoding more generally usable. Why is the Keyboard change. Somehow this keyboard now changed from German to English. Ah, there it is. Things are happening. Yeah?
Does running the integration 2D at the notebook have to be the same notebook? This is an example.
I didn't get it acoustically.
Does the running of heat equation 2D
Yeah.
and later on IPython notebook sync has to be on the same notebook? Can this be?
I don't know how the system will. So the answer to that is generally system dependent. If you do this, for example, on the local server here or cluster here at Ossendorf, it will work, but some clusters will restrict communication between different jobs. So I don't know the answer because I didn't try it on Lumi. That's why I asked you before to get 2 CPUs.
Yeah, and the GPU.
And a GPU. We only need 1 GPU, but yeah.
I'll try.
Okay.
Let's see if that was really hard.
Okay, if we look at the there. File output now, we see it's very short. Because now there's only one data set, data images heat, but we have it 400 times. So that's the deal about variable-based encoding. We don't create so many substructures, but we reuse the old substructures. So for streaming, this is the best encoding. And talking about streaming.
So where this balance the variable based?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Can now this one. Open again the notebook that we wrote earlier. But now instead of the ending .bp that or .h5 that we had earlier, we can now specify .sst, which will select the streaming engine of Alios. And then maybe without launching anything else, let's just try what happens.
Why extensions are RP, IP, YNB?
Come again, what extension are you?
Extension of the file visualize is IP, YNB, the file name.
That is for Jupyter Notebooks, the extension. So you see here, nothing is happening, but the SST engine is complaining about the contact file not being there yet. So let's actually switch over to the backend configuration that we had and change the backend here from what we used earlier, the file engine, to SST for streaming. And I will quickly enter, oh, it doesn't have it. I will quickly enter a tmux session so we can, there was an error. That was a mistake. Come on. I will open a new terminal. That's easier. Because when we now launch the heat equation again, having specified the ADIOS 2 engine type as SST, this will be blocked because it's waiting for a reader to come by. Now if we look into the output folder, that's why I wanted to have a second terminal, we have this .sst file there. That's just a network address. There is no data in there. So that's just some cryptic code that the reader will then use to know where he can say hello. So let's make the reader say hello. There was a timeout already, so let's restart it. And here we are watching the simulation while it's running. Yeah, Richard?
If I run the visualization to like modality, my purchase crashes. Any idea what the process? I just restart it.
And we can also try it the other way around. Now let this wait again. Now it's complaining that there's nothing yet, so let's start it. And they find each other. And there we go. Now the downside maybe is that we are blocking so the visualization is significantly slower than the simulation is. So especially for visualizations where you really just want to have a sneak peek on what's currently going on, what we can do instead is, for example, go into the configuration again and set an engine parameter for the SST engine to say Q full policy. Okay, where is the equal sign on an English keyboard?
It's just next to the backspace.
Ah, thank you. Okay, where are the?
We can change it quickly.
I have copy paste. I just needed to copy paste the quotation marks. I don't know why it switched. It was German all the time, and now it's probably Tapish getting his revenge for earlier. So currently the default is we are blocking the simulation by having a slow reader. But if we have a reader that doesn't actually need all the data but can live with having steps discarded, that's also fine. So specifying Q full policy discard, we launch it again. And now you need to be quick with watching because the simulation is very quick. It discarded nearly all steps. Because the matplotlib visualization really just takes some time and isn't that fast. But that is really due to matplotlib here and not due to the streaming. But yeah. So are there any questions on that?
Just a question, but different topic here. I still have difficulty when I could not start a Jupyter session. Some loves I got some strange errors like you couldn't find Python or things like this. I don't know if anyone has a solution. Posted something on Slack.
Did you specify the environment file in?
Yes, the one that is.
So I think this error from the Slack. It's telling that the environment sh commit script permission been made. I check it, it's not executable. I'm sure this is not what permission been made.
Probably, maybe it should be source, the script instead of just the script.
Okay, I mean, did anyone launch this successfully? Okay.
I launched the Jupyter session successfully, but my Jupyter crashes constantly. So there seems to be some other. It's independent of the notebook.
Okay.
I checked it with just editing files and also crashes. So there's something weird going on there.
Technology. I will try setting executable permissions to the environment file. That's a downside of having to test this always with my account because I always have all the permissions. I set the permissions now, so can you maybe try it again?
Now I just thought that I changed, I could source the script instead of just putting the script. Maybe this was the mistake.
You need to just put the script itself. Yeah.
Until now, I mean, now it seems to.
It takes some while, so you need to be a bit patient.
Yeah, but I got like running instead of pending or failed. Now I have access. What
Okay.
did you change in the visualize IPYD?
In that file, I actually changed nothing, no. All right. As I already said in the beginning, this is around as far as I wanted to get today. There is, I think, no use in taking the extra session, or the backup session now. So I would close this for today, stay in the chat a bit more for people who run into trouble or have questions. One thing maybe that also came up earlier, and I actually wanted to mention it earlier already, but then forgot about it. Generally within OpenPMD, when we talk about the terms offset and extend, we are, let's say this is the global data set that we specify in reset dataset. When we write a block or a chunk within that dataset, the offset is the offset from the 0 point of the global data set, and the extent is then in relation to the source of the chunk itself. So it's this vector and not the complete one. Always. Yeah. Otherwise, yeah, tomorrow we are then, as I said, going to start out with just exploring a Picon GPU dataset interactively. First with the OpenPMD viewer, again with the Jupyter notebooks. So if you didn't get it running, maybe try fixing it somehow, or we can try assisting you. The other thing is going to be ParaView, which, as I said, might be a session that some people will want to just watch. You can try to follow it along. As I mentioned earlier already, it requires to have some memory on your system. So if you have a notebook with 8 or 16 gigabyte only, then it will probably not work, because it's just a somewhat large data set that we are going to visualize, and generally ParaView will just relentlessly take any memory it needs. And then in the end, we are going to look a bit at parallel I/O, which is, I think, also, yeah, kind of the most important, or not the most important, but one very important topic when we talk about getting simulations to be fast. Yeah, there were some messages in the chat.
Yeah, the calendar is starting. There was someone, yeah, you have the calendar start. Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, I'm trying to run the Jupyter visualization.
Just crashed.
Yeah.
And also, if you missed that earlier today, Tapesh mentioned that we are going to start at 9:15 tomorrow, not like originally planned 9 sharp, just because this fits better with the bus lines traveling to HCDR. So 9:15, you can sleep 15 minutes later. And yeah, otherwise, I think we're done for today. There is the dinner this evening in Dresden that Tapesh talked about earlier. So who wants to go there?
It's in Wenzel and on Postplatz, so we can organize it.
So our bus is already outside.
Really? Is this the big one?
That's the only one I see. And
No, oh, there's a second conference ongoing. Maybe this is a bus for them, I'm not sure.
I just got a call that
Oh, that's really the.
okay. Everyone.
Okay.
Yep, okay, then have a nice evening.